I'm just waiting on notification.
Hear all that tinkling off these sleeves.
And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Sister Yreva Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam, Brother Joshua.
Yes, ma'am. And this is an honor to have you back for a second time. It was great seeing you in person at Savior's Day. First of all, how was your Savior's Day?
Amazing. It really was amazing. Wow. It was just so, I don't know, just so unexpected. It was much anticipated, of course. We had that 3 years where we didn't come to Savior's Day. So everything just felt new and exciting. And yeah, it was just a wonderful, wonderful Savior's Day. I had a great experience.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Well, today, we all know that everybody's going to say every day's Mother's Day. So let's first every day's Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers. However, many of us forget to show love to our mothers, or give them birthday shout outs on social media and all that good stuff. And you are a mother of 7 or 8?
8.
8. And as a mother of 8, first of all, how was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day was wonderful. It started off beautifully with our Sunday lecture, of course, and I got a chance to open up and share a few words. So, I mean, it was just amazing. Wonderful, wonderful day. As well as when I came home, my children, of course, showered me with the gifts that they were able to give. And, only thing that I really require from my children is, the heart, the thought of, thanking me and being with me and showing me that type of love and their time. That's all we need as mothers. Nothing more.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. And okay, people are showing you love all across the country. And Walaikum Salam, Brother Henry Muhammad says ASA family. And my sister Miriam says ASA. Walaikum Salam. Walaikum Salam, Mimi. All right, boom. And also for the mothers who may not have 8 children, but they want children, and I see mothers make memes sometimes, and the struggle of motherhood or the balance of motherhood. As someone with 8 children, what advice would you give to the mothers who on a day like today?
Well, my advice to mothers, if you have children, and especially as many as I have, and even if you don't have as many as I have, 1 or 2 is enough. One of the things that was highlighted today at our Sunday service was the word sabir, patience. And it's much more than just that one word, to be patient, which we think of many times as just waiting and, sitting back, and just waiting to see what's going to happen. But it's actually a word that entails so much more than to wait, but it's to kind of take your time, and it is to be succinct in what you do, and it is to be methodical in what you do. So when you think about doing something methodically, there's steps to it. So you got to do this, and then you have to do that, and you cannot rush because it will not turn out right. So when you think about not rushing through motherhood, you have to be patient. You have to take your time. You have to be succinct. You have to be direct, and you have to be intentional with almost everything that you do, because these are Allah's lives that you have in your hands. So the best advice that I could give to mothers is to be patient, take your time, and don't rush through motherhood. Enjoy your time with your children, because once they're they turn into adults, that time you can't get back, and those words you can't get back. And so it's just best to reserve as best as you can, because it happens. The blow ups happen. We all know this, but to be patient is to take the time to love, take the time to care, and take the time to nurture. That's all I would say.
Excellent advice. All praise is due to Allah. And people showing you love all across the country. Our brother Nelson Ramos says, Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people. Walaikum salam, all from Massachusetts. And we can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank you, everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Okay, so you had the whole social media world in a frenzy this year. You posted a video. It was going wild. It was like, man, it was live action of what some may consider UFOs. For those who understand the teachings of Most High Elijah Muhammad or have heard the teachings, know what we're looking at. But could you explain what your experience was this year?
Yes, sir. So this was the follow-up, or not follow-up, this was the leading up to Savior's Day 2023. We're going to prepare to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which we have not seen, in magnitudes, in person, in several years. We had that one last year, as you know, where it was a limited number of us who were able to go to that. But again, the magnitudes we're going to see a very divine man. And so this leading up to Savior's Day 2023, I myself saw, as well as sounds like many others saw them too. Mostly believers who saw this, but I was myself, like I said, preparing for Savior's Day, and we were grocery shopping. I was grocery shopping, and I say we because my daughter was with me, my oldest daughter. She's about 16, and she's the one who spotted them first. And usually when we're in that grocery store parking lot, I always look up to see the skies, because it's an area where the skies are unobstructed, and you can usually see a clear view of the stars in that area. So this time I was looking up too, but I look up at what many might say is that northern star. And I did see that, but as I was trying to put the groceries into the car, my daughter, who was looking up in the sky, she was like, "Oh, Mom, what is that?" And she was pointing up at the skies. I said, "Oh yeah, those stars really shine bright over here." And I'm just loading clothes, and she's like, "Oh yeah." She said, "I know that." She said, "But what is that?" And so I turn around, I look up, and I see what looks like many stars and very bright stars, and they were lined up one behind the other almost as far as you could see. So I can't tell how many, because some of them look like they were kind of like coming down into view, and as I was looking up, you could tell that there were some of them that were up and out of view. And the line, it was very long. They moved very slowly so that you can actually see, but you can see that they're moving. It was as if they were in ranks. They were in a solid wall rank. And myself and my daughter, we were just in awe looking at up there. And then there were others in the parking lot, a brother who was in there. He was like, "What do you think it is?" I told that brother, I said, "Those the baby planes." And he was like, "Okay." So he was like, so he didn't know what I was talking about, but I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what you might call UFOs," but yeah, he looked, and we tried to take pictures. I tried to take my feet was up. I tried to take a video, and I'm not tech savvy, Joshua. I'm just
yes,
not. And so, I didn't push record, I clicked a picture and I just took like it was a blurry picture, but at least I got that much.
Yes, sir.
When I got home and I shared it, uh, other believers from our city was calling in as well, because I was heading actually to the mosque to pick up my son from FOI class, and I shared it with them. And he said, yeah, another brother said that, he saw them too. And thankfully, that brother in our city, he had a video, a real
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Brother Ken, if you know who you are, if you out here, shared that on social media as well, just as a proof that, we saw what we saw. So that was my experience. And, the backlash, of course, that comes after that. Hey, I'm one of those people like the minister, you can take it or leave it. It doesn't really, it doesn't move me. You just, when you know, and when you don't know, you just don't know. So
Yes, ma'am. All praise is due to Allah. And people are showing you love all across the country. Thank you all for watching. Now, Sister Yreva, can you help give us a breakdown? Because on TikTok and on social media, Joe Rogan's platform, a lot of people are saying they're having sightings and they're giving their perspective to people who aren't in the nation. As someone who knows what you were looking at, can you help us? We're gonna listen to you. So it's like, did you see any colors? Were they silver? Were they black? White? What did you like? What did you see?
I saw very uniform. They were all white. I didn't
White.
really
Okay.
see a lot of colors. When I actually looked up at them, I only seen they were there for maybe about 30 seconds. Maybe, yeah, 30 seconds about. And then they started going up one by one to where they were out of sight. So I didn't really see a lot of colors. And I heard some of the, skepticism, if you will, about what they were. Some people say Elon Musk, has these satellites out here. And I say, do you know that if Elon Musk has I hope I said his name right, I don't even know who the
Yes,
person is, but if he had that capability and these sightings were frightening the government, wouldn't he be arrested right now? Wouldn't he be questioned like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was questioned? So, these are things that we in the Nation of Islam know, that, the enemy is not going to allow something like this to just go on. You're just going to play around with this type of technology in the skies, threatening the military and the government, that they don't know what it is, but you do, right? And you just have access to just, frighten the masses of people. I beg to differ. I seriously doubt it. So, those people, they might say those types of things, but where's the proof? If you did
yes,
it once, can you do it again? Can we see
mm,
them every day? You know, um, those are the type of things that, you got to ask questions to, because, we have proof. We have proof that this is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us. We are seeing the increase, especially as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is speaking out more and more and challenging this government to make its move, if you will. So, and he claims that he is backed by the will, and he is backed by the God who has the capabilities of having 1,500 smaller baby planes. This is lining up with exactly what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught. And if, like I said, if this was the case of this Elon Musk having this type of capability, again, why wasn't he arrested and questioned like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? So we have to, put that out there, because, it's just another distraction. It's a falsehood that, they want to put out there to dismiss what we are saying. But if you really have questions, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said, call him to the table, ask these questions, bring him to Congress. He's open to the conversation. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even have to speak, because we have those in our ranks who can speak and show the proof, and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan doesn't have to open his mouth. So come, come on, we're here, you can challenge us on this. So that's how I feel about it.
Oh, praise you to Allah. Excellent job. Yes, ma'am. And people are showing you love all across the country. Sis Yreva. Brother Michael says, Assalamualaikum salam. Brother Kente says, Walaikum salam, family. Happy Mother's Day to all the women throughout the nation. Thank you very much, sir. All right, excellent. The question that I have for you, the next question is this your first time seeing a baby plane, a mother plane, or for those who may not understand, a UFO, or have you had other experiences?
I've had a couple of other experiences, but I'll tell you the minor one first, because I wasn't quite sure that it was what it was, because it was only one. And this one, I'm sure it was a baby plane, but as I was driving from my home to the home of, Sister Tadara and Brother Tadar Muhammad, their home, I was driving up to their home one evening, and we saw what looked like a baby plane following us, and it was so low that you could see that it was not a plane. You could see that it was in the evening time, so it looked like a bright light. And myself, my son, my oldest son, his guest, we was driving her as well. I don't know what we were going over Sister Tadara's house to do. I think I was going to pick something up or drop something off. But in that drive, it followed us all the way to the house. And then when we got there, it was gone. So that was one experience. The other one was one that, of course, is very dear to my heart, because that was the time when my late husband, Robert Dion Muhammad, went missing. He went missing on September the 5th, and September the 6th, on his birth anniversary, we went out to that lake to see if we could locate his body. And we were there from early morning, I want to say around 6:37 in the morning, till the evening time, around, I think they recovered him around 4 or 5 in the evening, is when the body was recovered and identified and whatnot. Very emotional time. The brothers and from all around the area, Detroit, Chicago, other areas too, were there. And when I returned home, we still had lots of people at the home. I came in the house to share the update in the news to my children and to those who were present at the home, that we did recover his body. And my youngest son, Najim Muhammad, the star,
yes, ma'am,
he went outside and he came running back inside. He's like, Mom, he said there are baby planes outside, a whole lot of them. And I was like, yes, son, that's nice. I was not in the mood, if you will. And I'm like, okay. But he said, no, Mom, you got to come and see. And so I went outside, and the sky was just littered, if you will, with baby planes, and they were flashing. This time they were flashing, different colors. They just seemed, they wasn't in any kind of formation, but they were just like scattered out, almost like they were stars, but it was dusk, so you couldn't really see the stars at this time. But the planes, you can definitely see them. And they kind of did like a just to let us know that they were there, that Allah's presence was there. And it comforted me so much, Brother Joshua. We just started saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The neighbors were like all outside too. It was just like Allahu Akbar. But that was the second, maybe that was about the first experience that I had of seeing the baby planes, and then about the latter ones that I just spoke of were later on is when I saw those others. But yes, sir, amazing experience. So I mean, I'm a believer, and and matter of fact, I'm more than that. I'm a knower at this point.
All praise due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And people are showing you love all across the country, bearing witness, saying all praise due to Allah. Beautiful. Speak on it. ASA, she's bearing witness. And Sister Maya saying, I'm bearing witness. All praise due to Allah. And people are showing you love. Okay. We have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of People's Podcast. And then we want to come back and hear some of your interactions with the Most High Farrakhan and how that has helped keep you, comfort you and your family as well.
Yes,
second. Yes, ma'am. And thank you for everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast.
A camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. If you would like to donate or...
Thank you very much for every donation, every sponsor, every random people who just show us love on People's Podcast. Thank you very much. And people who are sending positive energy to you, Sister Yreva. And on behalf of myself and my family, as well as the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we are always here for you. And I'm just in awe that you're able to function the way that you do with such a high spirit. Can you let us know some of the words of encouragement and or comfort that the minister has given to you, just to help you keep, you spoke at the mosque today. Some people go through some of us go through things that are not nearly as what you went through, and we leave the nation forever. We lose faith in God, lose faith in religion, spirituality, everything. And that's it. Like one incident, boom. Here you are speaking on Mother's Day, opening up, bearing witness to the teachings on the People's Podcast with Brother Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So what can you let us know some of the things that keep you going from based off of, your interaction with the minister?
Absolutely. So, of course, the interactions with the minister are very powerful. And he is, of course, our example. I'm going to be honest and tell you the truth. I was really not desirous of going to the mosque today. I felt exhausted. I was, we always joke here that the weekends for the Muslim is not like a normal weekend for regular people, right?
Yes,
so, our weekends are full of the work. For sisters, it's, get up for that prayer. Then you have your MGT class, and then you have your work to do for your MGT class, right? Which is your home. And then, you still have to cook and you still have to prepare. And you really don't get to relax too much on Saturday. The whole day is MGT class. And then you're preparing for that following day, which is Sunday. And a lot of us work at the mosque on Sunday, right? So you're up early for your prayer, and then you preparing to get to that mosque. And if you're there for a post assignment, or if you're there for to open up or to speak, or if you're going out to get a guest. So, you're always moving and working. And that weekend from Friday to Sunday is work, 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 right? And this is the example, though, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, we just got done celebrating the 90th year birth anniversary of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Yes, and what does he do on his birth anniversary? He's up early in the morning working for us. Do we understand this? So how dare we say, oh, I'm tired, or I don't feel good, or I'm not coming in. I'm not going to show up because, I'm just tired from all the fun I had yesterday, or the work that I had yesterday. But does the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan get tired? I'm sure he does, but he pushes through. And like I said, this is 90 years of work experience that we can study from. So, he's showing us the way. He's showing us the truth. He's showing us the life that we have to live and that we have to give. He just said that the best gift that we can give him is our service to the God and his servant, right? So how dare you say, well, I'm tired. So I got out of my bed. I was sluggish through prayer this morning. I'll bear witness to myself, right? And but I made it there. I shared a few words, by the grace and mercy of Allah. And I really got filled up with that, because Allah, when he sees that you're at your end, when you don't have any more gas in the tank, that's when you know who the God is. I'm going to segue to something else really quick, because I have to bear witness. And you had Brother Captain Emeritus Dennis Muhammad on your show not too long ago. I too had him on the Unity Foster prayer line last Saturday. And to hear this brother bear witness to the God, and how when you're at your end, in his case, he was at death's door, right? When you are desirous of continuing to work, even though you are in a condition that you are, so to speak, tired, you are, so to speak, incapacitated, but you desire to give more. Allah blessed that man to come back to life so that he could serve. His heart, he wanted to serve. These are examples, and this is what he's getting from being close to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So those of us who had the opportunity to talk to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to be in his presence, to meet the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we know that during that meeting, he's spoken for a few hours, and then we have the opportunity to talk to him, right? So then he's constantly giving. After he gave hours of himself to the multitudes, then he gives more of himself to these individuals who may come to see him, personally. So when you have those type of moments with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's always pouring into you. And you may not know what you have until time and circumstances come and present themselves to you. So this was one of those cases today. I was at my end, so to speak. I didn't want to go. I forced myself to go. And what did Allah do? He blessed me with more. And now I'm here where I am talking to you and bearing witness to what the teachings have done to me, what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given to me, what I know to be the truth, right? So this is what I can gather from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and just being in his presence. And some of the words that he would say was that stood out to me is that he told me to in so many words, be patient, but it was to basically hold on, because Allah has a great reward for you. But you have to keep moving. You have to keep going. You cannot sit down. So those stay with me, and I keep doing things and I keep moving because I don't want to give up on the reward Allah has for me.
Yes, ma'am.
If I stop, and Honorable Minister Farrakhan said many of us will get right to the door and stop there, and give up. Can you imagine being right at a door where there's so much good on the other side, and your reward and everything that you've been praying for and you've been desirous of is on the other side of the door? I just have to put my hand out and open it. And then I just say, well, I'm just going to sit down next to the door and not even open it. Sit on my hands. It's insane, right? So we have to keep moving. And like I said, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our example. So that's what I would share about that.
Beautiful teacher. Yes, ma'am. And people are bearing witness and showing you love all across the country. Sis Yreva, I also wanted to know, ma'am, when you have children and you have sons and daughters, what are some of the differences in your approach to rearing the children, like based on the genders?
Yeah, so everything with motherhood is a learning experience. And because, first of all, we don't have a manual. Second of all, every one of your children is an individual, male or female. So I had 4 sons first. Okay. And story time. Just recently, many mothers know, if you just live long enough, this kind of stuff happens. That one thing after another seems to happen. They say when it rains, it pours. So I had one of those situations recently where, this thing breaks down, and then another thing breaks down, and then you still have to make sure that people eat. You still have to make sure that people have everything that they need, and you still have to give directives, and you still have to move and survive. So that oh Allah. We're gonna come back to this. All right, sorry about that. I had a call that pushed me out. So you still have to keep moving, was the point. And I had this feeling come over me that when I was a young mother, and I had the 4 boys, boys are pretty needy. Okay. They need a lot. They really need a lot of attention and, accolades, and they have to be told everything to do. And, you got to, you just have a lot to do as a mother, for at least in my experience, for boys. And I felt like this overwhelming feeling happened because you have to do all these things. Plus this is going on, and that's breaking down. And I said, oh my God, I have that feeling where I just want to cry. I want to cry, and I just want to sit down and be like, I don't know how to do this. So, and I know some mothers can bear me witness, but at the same time with that, I had that feeling. I said, but I know that it gets better, because I'm past that point now. I just had the feeling as a reminder that where I was at one point. Now I'm here, and I'm saying, oh, but I remember this. I remember how it feels, and I do know that it does get better. So this too shall pass. And that's one of the things that I would say as far as dealing with children. Now, the male and the female, like I said, boys, they kind of need a little bit more attention and time. And then my girls, so I have all my boys first. So I did have the opportunity to just learn how to deal with that male energy. And some of it is very strong testosterone that you have to kind of like, you don't want to break it, but you do want to direct it. And I did have to learn how to do that, because I'm not the the real loving mother. I'm more of a disciplinarian mother, and I can be a little harsh with my words sometimes, but I did have to learn how to temper that, for especially the male ego that is rebuttal type. And then also I had some sons who would have more of a feminine energy. So they wasn't real masculine where they would rebuttal, but they were more in that mindset of wanting to please and give service, and wanting to know, am I okay? So I had to learn how to mother those two types of male energies, if you will. And we all know that the male has both male and female, right?
Yes,
Energies in them, and some more than others. So that was my experience with having, especially 4 boys, because if you have 1, maybe 2, you don't understand that, you may not know that. But there are degrees of masculinity and femininity in the male. And if we are studying our supreme, or not just our supreme wisdomness, but we are studying the study guides, we know this, we understand.
yes, ma'am.
So with the girls, it's kind of the same thing. But my girls were easier for me because I grew up in a household where we were all girls and my father was the only male. So poor fella was in a house full of female energy, but it's the same because I would consider myself having a little bit more masculine energy than some of my other sisters. They may be a little bit more female, a lot more female energy. But as I grew, especially learning in the Nation of Islam, you learn how to balance it, And so again, with my female children, you pick up which ones have a little bit more of that strength and that drive, to go or work drive, which is a masculine type of energy. And then you deal with that accordingly. And then you have those that are dainty, that are sweet, that are sensitive to criticism, and you deal with that accordingly. So I would say, it's not too much difference between, raising boys and raising girls, except that you have to measure, watch and learn from, first of all, what they have and what they're working with as far as those two energies. And then you have to cater to that and build it, to their personality type. You have to build on that, because Allah made them a certain way on purpose, right? And
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have no business destroying that or trying to bend that to our way or our will. We have to make sure that we are constantly feeding them what they need, and nurturing them in the way that Allah made them, so that they can be of His service. So I hope that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. People showing you love all across the country. Thank you all for watching. Okay, Sis Yreva, do you what type of movie? I usually ask people about music, but we did that the first time, so let's do movies this time. What's your favorite movie to watch to unwind? After motherhood, you get home from work and baby planes at the grocery store, and you're just chilling. What do you like to watch?
So, I'm a I'm a really carefree spirit, but lately I've been into old movies.
Okay.
And of course, The Godfather is one of those movies that it's just, I don't know, it's something about it. Maybe because it reminds me of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and just the love that people had for him, and the way that he was able to give guidance, to certain people. And I know it's you get what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely.
There are similarities there that to me is comforting. And so that is one. But
Okay.
I really am starting to enjoy old movies. But I'm a romantic.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Somebody who is a little bit harsh and hard. I love romantic movies, and I will watch that over scary or even comedy. So although comedy is pretty nice too, but yeah, I
Okay.
just romantic. And the most recent movie that I watched was Sabrina, and that one was a very good movie.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down, Sabrina, because I haven't seen it before. So I'm gonna...
Classic with oh my God,
Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart,
Okay.
and who was the girl in that? Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. Okay, so you're going classic. Okay. Okay. Yes,
Yeah, there's the one that's in the 90s too that's pretty good too. But I'm a lover of the old school.
okay, great. Yes, ma'am. I just saw 12 Angry Drawers for the first time in years, and then I saw To Kill a Mockingbird the other day, and it was like the saddest. It was the saddest ending I've ever seen. I was like, "What is like? What did I? Why did I even watch this? I didn't know. Whatever. Well, somebody should have warned me." But yeah, that's like my old school movies I've been watching recently. All right, that's Sis Yreva. What do you have planned? Well, if you have anything planned coming up for the rest of the year, please keep us posted on people's podcasts so we can bring you back. You spoke about doing something at 5 a.m. or like prayer call. How can we support you with your prayer call?
Yeah, so I do have a Unity Fajr prayer line that is we are on the line of a conference call line every morning at 5 a.m. I do have a couple moderators from around the country who help me to moderate. And let's see if we can name some names, because I like to try to give shout outs when I can, because nobody can do anything alone on their own. But every thing that is significant has a forefront and a background. And so, whereas I may be in the forefront of the Unity Fajr prayer line, there is definitely that I am definitely like the tip of the iceberg, and I do have those who help me immensely in this. But we have our 5 a.m. Fajr prayer line. I will have to get the number for you, because guess what? I don't know my own number, and we'll put that up in a moment. And if any of you who are on may know it, you can put it down in the little chat or whatever. But every morning, 5 a.m., we start with the Adhan, and then we go into the comment, and we actually do 2 salats. So we come prepared with the prayer rug, having washed before prayer, and prepare your mind and yourself to make those 2 salats in the morning. We only do just the 2, although you can offer more. And even during the Ramadan, when we had the Ramadan podcast, we would do our early morning Fajr prayer line, or Fajr prayer earlier. I know on these I did. You do the 2 salats, and then you can do 2 more at the proper time. So if you are a fanatic, like I sometimes can be, you can offer your 2 salats before the 5 a.m. or the actual time of prayer, and then you offer your 2 salats at the time of prayer. Okay.
Excellent.
That's a little bit of addition. But then after our 2 salats, then we do study for an hour, whether that be the Final Call newspaper or the book of the month, or whatever book we're reading from. We just finished up Nahum by brother student secretary Saad Ali Muhammad. Excellent. If you haven't got it, please do, and get the entire series so that you're up to date. And then we have a book and review afterwards, and a segment where we go over the book with the author too. So those are some of the things that we do on the Fajr prayer line. Again, I wanted to lift up some of our moderators. Thank you, Sister Jandel on Mondays. Thank you, Sister Maria from Detroit. Sister Jandel is from Washington, D.C. Sister Maria is from Detroit. Thank you, Sister Maria. And we also have Sister Rachel, who is, please, additional prayers for our sister moderator, Rachel, she is fighting cancer, and we just want to make sure that we offer plenty of prayers for her. And then we have Sister Zora from Detroit, and these are all on our Eastern time Fajr prayer line. I have a West Coast prayer line that is up and coming, you all. So I'm going to try to name those on there too. But those are the ones that are on for the East Coast. We have Brother Mark, who does some cover down for us and gives us and has the technology part and information that we get sent out. And he also moderates for us as well. Also, like I said, the West Coast line, we just started that, and it is in the process of, growing. Brother Roland, Sister, oh my gosh, I done forgot her name already. Bismillah, Sister Sadria. Thank you, Sister Sadria. And I think this was Sister Latasha as well. So I just wanted to call those names out because it's always good to remember those who help you to get where you are. And if I forgot anyone, please forgive me, charge it to my mind and not my heart.
Oh, praise due to Allah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Until I find it, as you maybe have any other questions for me.
No, I was letting you get. I was going to let do some comments while you get the phone number. All right. So Brother Nelson Ramos says a beautiful soul to close out the weekend. Absolutely. Sister Carlson says beautifully expressed. And thank you everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Thank you for every. You got the number yet, ma'am?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so bear with me, you all. The number is 425-436-6286. Again, that number is 425-436-6286. And then, of course, we have a PIN number, which is 645-684. 645-684. And you can join us every morning at 5 a.m. And also, like I said, we have our West Coast line. If you miss it, then you can join at 8 a.m. for the West Coast line that will be starting at 5 a.m. their time.
Oh, praise due to Allah. So everybody who oversleeping, I'm saying, you get 3 hours extra and just hop on the West Coast time. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to thank you very much, Sis Yreva, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast. Once again, on behalf of myself, my family, the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we thank Allah for you and your family. Please give the greetings and positive energy to all 8 of your children. To all the believers of Grand Rapids holding it down, may Allah continue to bless you all as well. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
May Allah bless you and your family.
Yes, ma'am. Same to you. Thank you all for watching.